I would tell you that I'm probably the greenest person, one of the greenest people in the Senate. I have a higher percentage voting record with League of Conservation Voters than half of the people in Montgomery County, the senators in Montgomery County. I have a 91% voting record over 15 years in the legislature. I voted against. Actually, I supported the rain tax, and then when I saw the way it was implemented, I helped to repeal it because I didn't feel that it was what was sold to the legislature. And let me give you an analogy, and I'm not going to be like Al Gore where I voted for it before I voted against it. So let me tell you why. I voted for Bob Ehrlich's flush tax, and I thought, and it was at the time I was the first Democrat to represent the House since the 1950s, and I promised that I wouldn't support any major tax increases, and immediately I voted for Ehrlich's flush tax. And the reason I did is it was uniform across the state of Maryland. It was upgrading every wastewater sewage treatment plant in the entire state. Even if you were on septic, you were going to be charged in your water bill. It was straight across the board, and you knew where the money went. When they sold the rain tax years later, there was supposed to be a similar uniformity. And when I watched the implementation, I watched Prince George's County buy 2 street sweepers. I watched Baltimore County buy a street sweeper and then they use the money for something else. So I'm watching implementation in different places, and I'm also having business owners, and mostly on the east side of Baltimore County, and we meet as a delegation all the time, where business owners would walk in and you'd have a guy who has a small auto repair shop, and he has gravel, in 6 or 7 parking spaces, and people come in, and he'd show us his property tax bill, and his property tax bill would be $6,000, and then his rain tax bill would be $7,000. And this wasn't 1 or 2 people. This was happening over and over, and I'm like, this isn't really fair. And it's a really good example. I'm not trying to turn lemons into lemonade, but it's a good example. I'm not always right, but I'll look at it again, and if I'm not right, I'll fix it. Likewise, when I voted for the flush tax with Bob Ehrlich's flush tax, I would vote for that bill 20 more times, even if it cost me an election, because you can start to see the results. I mean, we're making significant gains on the Chesapeake Bay, and I can unequivocally tell you that the technology that we've used from the flush tax has taken nitrogen levels in certain wastewater sewage treatment plants where there was leakages of 25 to 30%, and the new technology is like 3%. And what you see on 702 as you drive to the east side of the county, and some of you do, and that smell that comes from that back river plant is going to be gone in another 18 months when they finish that project. So that's an example of when we should have imposed a tax, and I voted for it, and it was the right thing to do. And you can see the Bay for the first year ever, last year, got like a C+, which is unbelievable. And we're going to get to a B and an A, and while states like Florida are neglecting the Everglades, we're not doing that with the Bay. But on the stormwater tax, I think I gave some examples of why it didn't work for a number of reasons.